Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle, the wrestling video podcast I do here on. I'm screwing it up already. Well, welcome to being live, guys, and this is going to be for the later video as well. Decided to screw up the intro live today. Again, let's go ahead and get this started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle, the wrestling video podcast I run here on youtube.com/UC Campbell. We're looking to have a name change here very, very soon. Matter of fact, I may be doing that within the day itself on that side. But we're not here to focus on name changes or anything on in that side. We're here to focus on WWE Smackdown Live on November 28th, 2017, and then NXT, which was done, which was basically a portion of the San Antonio show for November 29th, 2017. So let's go ahead and get this started right off the bat here. SmackDown this week, it was an alright show. I like some of the matches, everything on that side, and I did like the whole debut of the Riot, the double T for Riot Squad. That was an interesting thing that they decided to do with that one on that side of everything. But they started off the show with Shane McMahon. This is becoming very focal now of the show. If you haven't really recognized it, now don't get me wrong, Raw usually starts off with promos on a weekly basis, and that's been the whole bit of them doing that. It's like the authority figure comes out and cuts a promo before everything fully gets going on. It's either Stephanie or Kurt or something in that side. But the whole aspect, and maybe this is a side of them trying to subtly change somebody heel or something on that side of everything to go along with it. So we'll see how everything goes on this one. But SmackDown was supposed to be the show that was supposed to be focal point around wrestlers, not the authority figures. But of course, with this whole storyline with Sami Zayn and Shane McMahon, you're kind of seeing the tides turn. Well, not just Sami Zayn, but Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Shane McMahon. Now Daniel Bryan's in the mix with everything to go along with it. It's one of those things that you're seeing the tide turn on SmackDown, that now the authority figures are kind of all over the place on that one. I wonder if this is the intended design to make one of them go heel at some point, because both of them have been babyface for pretty much well over a year now. But now they're making it a focal point that the authority figures are doing these things in storylines now to go along with everything. So Shane starts off the show basically talking about everything from last week. He basically recaps what they recapped before the week, like beforehand on the TV on the Titantron. And then he brings Daniel Bryan out to basically explain everything. Daniel Bryan says, he sees Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for what they were. Didn't view it as a betrayal. He viewed it as them going for the brass ring, and said, he's not here to be his quote-unquote yes man. Good play on that one. He's here to utilize that talent to the best of their abilities to make sure that they get opportunities. Just as they were basically saying that the premise of SmackDown was to begin with, to go along with it. So Shane, of course, ends out eventually fully on agreeing with it, but he decides to change the main event, and he makes it he contradicts himself. He bans Sami Zayn from ringside, but he makes it a no DQ match. Which we see them later in the show. They found themselves a nice little loophole for what they did in that one. Up next, you had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens backstage. They were talking about, they run into Daniel Bryan, and he was trying to get everything overturned. They were trying to get everything overturned on this one. Kevin Owens not happy with Sami Zayn being barred and everything in that sense, and Daniel Bryan was like, basically he was like, nope, not gonna do it. We're gonna go with this, and you guys, here's your opportunity, run with it. So this brings us to our first match of the night, which was pretty late on into the show if you really think about it. I think it was about a 20-minute segment beforehand with Shane, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. And then The first match of the night was New Day going up against Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. This was a good match with an interesting result. Look, first of all, I think the move that they call the up, up, down, down, which is the backbreaker foot stomp for Xavier Woods and Kofi, looks brutal. It looks like it is not fun to go through in any way, shape, or form. And that finisher looks, it looks incredible, but it also looks extremely brutal to go along with it. This was a good match. The interesting result in this one is the factor that they said Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin are kind of owed a rematch because they won their match, but by countout with the Usos, but yet they have them lose here to the New Day to go along with it. That's where the interesting result is, and it'll be interesting to see if this is going to be a thing that they try to add the New Day back into it with the tag titles and maybe make it a triple threat match or something in that side of it. But overall, it was a really good match. I'm just interested by the result because it seemed like they were pushing Gable and Benjamin to the Gable and Benjamin to the tag team title area, but now they have them lose to the New Day, which also beforehand, apparently New Day's new thing now is pancakes. They have pancake. If they release pancake mix here in like the next month or so, it wouldn't shock me. First of all, because I mean they do have New Day pops, and they have the Booty of cereal, and apparently they have also have the Book of Booty or something like that now. It's some interesting stuff with what they're going with. So they all of a sudden release like pancake mix or batter or something. I don't know what they would do there, but it was interesting note. That's their new thing is the whole pancake thing. Big E gets like a plate of pancakes. They had he had 2 plates covered, and they had pancakes in it. And he gave syrup in them to the Usos, who were they were having a hard time containing themselves from laughter in that case. It was that's an interesting little tidbit to it. But the match itself with Gable and Benjamin and the New Day, I thought was really good. Just interested that they had New Day going over in this case, cleanly going over Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin, because it looked like they were pushing Gable and Benjamin towards maybe not a tag team title run, but a full-on tag team title shot. And that kind of, I don't say derails it here, but it kind of throws a little curveball into where they were going with. So we'll see where everything goes off with this one. Up next, you had Charlotte, Naomi, and eventually Natalya backstage cutting a promo on the 6-woman tag later in the night. Yes, they announced another 6-woman tag, just like the night before. But of course, we didn't get that tag match where Paige, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville took out everybody one by one, but with Mickey and Bayley backstage, and then Sasha in the ring. Tonight, they were talking about that 6-woman tag match. The stuff between Naomi and Charlotte was interesting. This segment was just interesting enough. Basically, the promo did not seem to really. I don't think hit off all that well on that one, but it did what it needed to do. It kind of it put a little bit of tension between all 3 of them, with the factor that Natalya is teaming up with them and she's the heel, everything in that sense. But she says she's going to work with them tonight to kind of get back at what had happened from the week before to go along with it. So it was, it did what it needed. It did what it needed to do. Up next was the Bludgeon Brothers going up against the Hype Bros yet again. And yet again, the Bludgeon Brothers squash match very quickly this time. They beat down Zack Ryder this time. And, you know, I was a little skeptical. With how the promos were going and everything. Whoa, that really changed the light really crazy there for a moment. I was really skeptical of the Bludgeon Brothers just based off of the promos. And kind of based off of how, you know, Luke Harper kind of seemed disinterested, and the promos didn't fully came off all that well. But their intensity inside the ring and what they are doing with this one, I think they're kind of booking them properly here, and I'm kind of turning around on this one a little bit. I was skeptical before, but I'm kind of turning around, maybe end up liking it. The music's good. The like that Tron and everything I thought was pretty good to go along with it. They come off as very menacing, and that's how they're booking them as well. They come off as extremely menacing forces that are really hard to get them It seemed like they would be a very formidable tag team towards anybody who gets in their path. Afterwards, the Hype Bros, by that, I mean, Zack Ryder was beginning to cut a promo. You have Mojo Rawley kind of stewing in the background. And then as soon as they get to, Ryder gets to this point of, like, the tides are changing inside the tag division, we got to change something, Mojo Rawley just blindsides Zack Ryder and beats him down. It's like he was stewing over. It's like, do I really want to do this? Do I not want to do this? And then he was all in because he's like, the Hype Bros are dead, everything on that side, as he beats down Zack Ryder and leaves him lying. You had a quick explanation backstage from Mojo Rawley as well, basically saying Zack was right. The tides are changing. And I guess basically that's all he said. So it's kind of one of those bits like, oh, he's changing with the times or something along with that to go on his own. You had a Bobby Roode interview. Man. I don't really care for face Bobby Roode. I really don't. It's cool that he's going after the U.S. title and everything. That's where they're looking like it's going to go with him and Baron Corbin. Those matches should be fun, but geez, he seems so basic as a babyface. He seems like the robe and the glorious thing with everything there is fine with the whole babyface side, but like promo-wise, they are kind of just leaving him very blah and basic with his wording and everything on that side. Like, it doesn't seem like they're developing anything with him where, like, you had kind of a defined thing with him down in NXT, and by defined, I mean what he was going for was immediately said, immediately going for it. And I guess I just kind of prefer Bobby Roode as heel. He doesn't really come off all that good as a babyface. But I'm going to be glad that he's going to be going after the U.S. title. I think the matches with him and Baron Corbin should be at least fun. It's just, is the bill going to be any fun getting to those matches to go along with it? And I don't know if that's going to be the case. Up next, you had the Singh brothers going up against AJ Styles in a handicap match. This one pretty much started right off the bat. Jinder Mahal comes out with them. They don't cut a promo. Jinder Mahal does cut a promo about getting to the WWE title again, everything on that side. And AJ Styles comes out. Jinder Mahal just waylays AJ Styles as he's getting into the ring, and all three of them beat him down for a little bit. They cut to commercial break, and they come back, and the match is going to basically start, this was their way of trying to make the Singh brothers be able to get some offense and fully make it believable, I guess, with AJ Styles to go along with it. This was a decent enough match. The Styles clash off of the second rope was, whoa, that was a really, it was a good looking maneuver. He does the Styles clash to one of the Singh brothers on top of the other Singh brother, and then picks up the victory that way. And then after the match, Mahal basically destroys the Singh brothers, gives them a couple Colossus, and from what I'm hearing, this is a way of them writing off the Singh brothers in some way, shape, or form, which will be an interesting thing if that's going to be the case, because where are they going to go with Jinder Mahal? Like, they haven't been his full mouthpieces, but they've been a big part of that, this whole thing of introducing them and everything to go along with that. You're not going to get that anymore on that side of everything. Up next, you had a Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, and Sarah Logan promo. This is where Ruby Riott declares them the Riot Squad, which it's funny when they have the Titantron, they add an extra T to Ruby Riott. It's an interesting side note. I thought the promos from all sides were pretty decent, but I took a look at this one and I really thought about it. As I was watching the promo and everything on that side, Liv Morgan looks so out of place in this group. Like, oddly enough, I guess even with the way Mandy Rose is, she doesn't look out of place with Paige and Sonya Deville. But like with Sarah Logan and Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan looks massively out of place. It looks like she should just be playing a babyface. Honestly, she'd be probably a babyface version of Carmella. But now because their characters are kind of similar, both Carmella's and Liv Morgan's, to a certain degree. Just one was playing a heel, one was playing babyface, to go along with it. And yeah, it just looks like she looks completely out of place. She has, she's usually in bright colors, everything on that side. She screams babyface, but yet she is in a heel faction right now, still having the bright colors and everything. She just looks out of the 5 NXT call-ups in the terms of the women's division. She looks the most out of place at this point in time, at least to me, to go along with it. So this does lead us to the Naomi, Natalya, Charlotte going up against Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan. This was a good match. It was an interesting way how they played it off. Natalya basically leaves the match right away. And she's like, nope, not going to have any of this. I don't want anything to do with you guys, after she tags out and is just gone. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So you have both Natalya and Charlotte kind of trying to fend off all 3 of them. And then they eventually set up something outside with where they throw Naomi into the barricade, and then they set the stairs, throw her into the stairs, and then they put the stairs up against the barricade. And I was like, they're not trying to trap her. And then they did the whole slingshot move to the actual stairs there, which made it look extreme. That one looked pretty good. And then they focused the entire rest of the match with all 3 of them up against Charlotte. And they eventually leave her alive, but they have Charlotte kind of fend them off a little bit. But then eventually she succumbs to the odds, and then Ruby Riott gets the pin over Charlotte in that match. And the match, like I said, was decent. You actually got a full-on match out of this one. And they did essentially do kind of what they did the night before, but doing it in the terms of getting a match victory to go along with it. They left pretty much everybody lying, with the exception of Natalya, who basically just left. She wanted to have nothing to do with it, so I'm out type moment. So you go backstage, and I forget who it was. Somebody was trying to get an interview with Randy Orton, which he basically just walks out of the locker room and just ignores them and just walks off. So you got really nothing on that side. He was going for his main event match. So this brings us to the Fashion Files, which was Saw themed. This was, you know what, this was honestly good. I actually did enjoy this bit. It's one of those things that they're recognizing how long this is going on for, and that they need to finish it off and everything to go along with that. You have the Ascension and Breezango basically tied up in a bathroom, or like the bathroom, like a smaller variation of the bathroom for the first Saw. Too bad they didn't have a saw, like a plastic saw or something in there to go along with that. It was weird to go along how they went along with everything there. But they were going, but then eventually somebody on an iPad or a tablet shows up and says, I want to play a game. And it's like, you're going to have to destroy something that you, something of value to you guys. That the key to get you guys out of there was in something valuable to them. And it's like, oh, and you only have 60 seconds to get out, and it's going to fill up with gas. You have little bits in there. It's hard to fully explain this one. To me, it was funny. The line of the entire thing was, I think, Connor from the Ascension going, because the key was supposed to be in Tully, the dead horse. It's like, beat this dead horse so we can get out of here. I bust out laughing on that one. You had like Tyler Breeze saying, going to the Ascension, they was like, oh, we're friends. No, we're not. Vincent, and he was calling Victor Vincent the entire time. Yeah, honestly, to fully grasp this one, you have to actually watch this. This is one that is hard to actually explain. I enjoyed it, but, you know, that's me. I like the corny and cheesy stuff, too, so it's just who I am. So this does lead us to the main event of the night, which was Kevin Owens going up against Randy Orton in a no disqualification match with Sami Zayn barred from ringside. Still weird. Still weird whenever they do that. It's like someone's barred from ringside, but it's a no DQ match. Someone's barred from ringside. Okay, we'll go with it, I guess. Sami Zayn, of course, does find his little loophole as they were fighting on the outside. They do bring kendo sticks in here. Some good kendo stick shots in this one. Not much in the terms of weapons really being used. Kevin Owens eventually goes through the crowd, kind of runs up to the ramp. This has Sami Zayn come out. He was and I like how the announcer's going like, well, he's technically not at ringside. He's on the ramp. I guess this works. And he basically hits Randy Orton a couple of times with some, I'll be honest, they weren't the best looking chair shots, but they were what they were at that point. But this does eventually, and he was hitting him in the leg to go along with it. I guess one of the reasons that it was kind of like the chair shots looked weaker is I think it was because they had them next to the barricade while doing this, so maybe Sami Zayn didn't want to try to swing super hard and try to go for an accidentally hit a fan to go along, hitting Randy Orton or something like that. Eventually, and he was kind of working over the leg too, which was a little, well, not really weird because it played up into the victory. Because Randy Orton was trying to go for the RKO, he didn't have a good vertical base for it, so because of the leg. So Kevin Owens takes out the leg one more time, hits him with a super kick and a frog splash to finish off the match. Like I said, this is a good match, good no DQ match. Weird with the whole Sami Zayn being barred from ringside thing. That, like I said, it just came off as a little bit weird on that side of it. So it was one of those things that was what it was. I thought SmackDown was fine. I thought it was good. I like the Breezango. I like the Fashion File stuff. I really do. I thought this one was really good on that side. The matches were fine and pretty good for the most part. I guess it was just the stories that were kind of being told weren't all that good this time around, because it just seemed kind of meh or something on that side of everything. It didn't seem like it really had all that much excitement to go along with it, but in the end, I thought like all the stuff ended up being pretty good to go along with it as well. So it was kind of like in that middle ground area for SmackDown this week. So let's head into, I'll probably make this one relatively quick because there wasn't really much to NXT this week. They weren't really building stories. They were basically showing some stuff from the San Antonio show from, I think, the night before NXT TakeOver Houston or the couple days beforehand. They started off with the Street Profits going up against Riddick Moss and Tino Sabbatelli. Street Profits really good. Montez Ford really good. He's got good facial reactions, everything in that sense. I like the reaction in this match with Riddick Moss and Tino Sabbatelli when they try to cheat to get the victory. They do and I think they do actually get the victory in the end. I don't remember. I had the Street Profits down, but I thought it was Riddick Moss and Tino Sabbatelli getting the victory in the end. I'm going to have to look that up real quick. Come to me, internets. Come to me. We'll see. Because I might have my notes wrong here, which wouldn't be the first time. Wouldn't be the first time. Where's an NXT thing from last night? Which they have, what is it? They do have spoilers up for the next set of tapings and everything, which I don't think I'm going to read into. Give me one moment. I'm gonna get this figured out so I get it right for you guys. No, it was Street Profits. That's right. Oh yeah, that's right. Street Profits picked up the victory with their combination, like Spinebuster into Frog Splash move. I don't know why I was thinking the other way around. I don't know, but it was the Street Profits going over. Montez Ford looking really good through all of this as well. I'm not the biggest fan of D'Angelo Dawkins, but it is what it is at that point. He's good in the ring. He's good in the ring. It's just the, like, character-wise, he doesn't, I don't know. like I'm a bigger fan of Montez Ford right now. Maybe it's because of his athleticism or something on that sense. You had a couple interviews backstage with Trent Seven and Tyler Bate talking about their tag match later in the night with Pete Dunne and Mark Andrews. They were basically angry about what Pete Dunne had done to Wolfgang when the Undisputed Era was beating him down. He basically just goes, grabs the title, and runs away. You had a Mark Andrews interview because he's always been playing babyface throughout this entire time. But he's teaming up with a heel, and basically he explains himself as, you know what, if we win this match, I get a title shot. That's basically his forte into it. And I like the fact that they did something like that. You did get a little bit of story going into this match. Up next, you had Kairi Sane going up against Peyton Royce. Another good match here with both Peyton Royce and Kairi Sane, with Kairi Sane eventually going over with the in-Zane elbow. I like how they're playing that off. They're playing that off a little bit more to try to play play off words to go with everything with Kairi Sane there. Again, not too much to really talk about this because they're not building too many stories here. They're just kind of having matches, so we're kind of waiting to see them build more stories. Up next was that main event of the night, which was Tyler Bate going up against Tyler Bate and Trent Seven going up against Mark Andrews and Pete Dunne. Again, another really good match with these guys. Mark Andrews, interesting that he decided to still work babyface pretty much, doing his normal moves, everything in that sense. He was just working with Pete Dunne. He didn't do a bit where it's like, oh, I'm going to play a heel tonight or something like that. No, he kind of stayed to his babyface type thing and keeping to his athleticism and everything in that sense, even though working with Pete Dunne. Tyler Bate and Trent Seven eventually go over with the fact beating Pete Dunne when Tyler Bate hits the Tyler Driver 97 on Pete Dunne. But Pete Dunne was kind of, they're playing it off as like, Pete Dunne was not liking the factors of teaming up with Mark Andrews and just wanted to do it himself, so he would just tag in at inopportune times and eventually cost them in the end. After the fact, Pete Dunne does attack Mark Andrews as Andrews was trying to help him up after the match, and then hits the bitter end on him to finish it off, finish off the show. So, yeah, not much really to talk about with NXT this week. It kind of was what it was. They were setting up for, they weren't really setting up for anything later. They did talk about, a little bit about what's going down next week. They have a Selena Vega celebration for Andrade Cien Almas winning the NXT title. And I think they're having a no holds barred match with Sonya Deville and Ruby Riott. So they're kind of getting their little send-off going into the main roster here at an NXT show. So they're getting one more match at NXT to go along with it on that side. And that should be interesting. Then we'll see how they work a no-holds-barred match. I think that should be a pretty interesting one to go along with it. Yeah, that's pretty much everything that's going through SmackDown and NXT this week. Yeah, so that's pretty much everything I got for you, too. So with that being said, everybody, I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed everything, and have a great rest of your day. And, oh, yeah, by the way, just sorry for the little botches here and there, but, you know, when you go live, that's what happens sometimes. I botch things, and it's like I completely forgot. Like, I was watching the NXT this morning, and it's like I completely forgot Street Profits won the actual match. And that was only a few hours ago. And also the botching of the intro to go along with it. So with that being said, everybody, again, peace out. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great rest of your day.